Alright, let's continue with our next Purge video. Starting off with this Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 5. And also, I'm going to clarify something. When I was on the live stream for Metarog's Out of the Box stuff, and when I mentioned that I'd actually purged about 2 short boxes out of 15 so far, Metarog had actually, said that was about 10%, which is real close. It was, I think, 13.6 when I sit there and mess with the math. But I realized that if I continue in that process, I will only purge probably 2,000 books, maybe somewhere in that range. And that right there would probably only do maybe 20 boxes out of here, maybe. So it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to narrow the scope until I get to a point of probably 50% of the books being gone. So I'm going to go back through what I've already purged, look again, ask myself that question. Do I really want, were they part of my original collection, and just go through and do it again? Certain things like Master of Kung Fu, I'd like to keep all of those, but certain ones, again, and that's also why, as I do these, I've got to ask myself the question, is this really something that I'm looking to keep? And again, you're going to notice something like this. We'll start showing some books, but this is Midnight Tales. Again, it's a horror book. Some aspects, yes, because it's a Charlton and it's really just a fun series in one aspect. Some parts of me don't want to get rid of that, but I like the Charlton action superhero stuff more, so these may actually go by the wayside. Now, I actually have doubles of ones like number 11, and again, I just may get rid of my duplicates first and then see how it narrows everything, because I do have quite a number of them. Number 12, number 13, number 14. This is another one I have doubles of, number 15. Number 15. No. But also I got number 16 right there. But with that being said, I've also got another number 16. So again, I could get rid of certain ones. Same thing like this one. I've got number 17, but I've also got number 17 twice. So that's where I could first thin down those and see how much of a difference it does make. Again, there's characters which I really like, but they make appearances in other books, so I may not want to keep their series, even if it didn't last that long, because like I said, I really have a lot more Silver Age than I had when I was younger. I have a ton of more animated comics in which I want to keep than I had when I was a kid. I just love cartoons and I watched them, so I've got to go back and forth with that one. So these, I may just thin out the ones I already have and the doubles. Now this series, I've got a debate. I may just get rid of, because this is a lot of great Steve Ditko work. Really like Steve Ditko. I may actually keep this stuff and get rid of more of the Marvel and DC kind of stuff and other stuff that really didn't. But again, like I said, even though, like I said, it's really Steve Ditko's work on these that really draws me to some of these. So, and again, like I said, I've got to decide, do I really want to keep pursuing those? I don't know how many duplicates in this series that I have that would be able to be kind of purged out, the doubles and stuff, to get to these. Because again, like I said, it's this one I could see going faster than I can the Midnight Tales. So let's just put it that way. And even though I really enjoy them both. Now, these, of course, I look to keep. These are the Mysteries in Space. These are some of the. There's the Go-Go checks on top of that one. Hope Dr. Silver Age is doing well. Rod was postponed this last Saturday's stream, so hopefully everything's going good. There goes another Go-Go check there. I got quite a number around him, Ultra, the multi-alien. I do remember him of the DC Who's Who's. Just didn't think I'd really ever have any of the books with him in it. Space Babies. Another one of Adam Strange. The Living Robot. And that's a lot of the other ones. It's just the new Adam Strange adventure, and even though he's not on the cover. And there's our friend again. Again, he's another one of those lower tier kind of characters that people probably very rarely ever know about, but there he is. And he held his own for a while and made his first appearance, I believe, in these. Now, as we get to the end of these, they do become a little bit more horror-related kind of thing, you know, like sci-fi horror kind of thing. So these could be what I get rid of, as the ones not connected to any of the characters in which I care to follow up. Not that they're not good stories or anything, it's just you got to get rid of stuff, you got to get it down. Sometimes it's the only way to do it. So, and like I said, once I'm done showing this box, I'm going to be going back through the other boxes, reorganizing it, trying to look through it again. Maybe I'll just do a whole video of the ones I decide I get rid of. And the same thing with like these. If these are the ones that I get rid of, it's what I do. Because like I said, there's a handful of those that I definitely want from the others. Now these, I definitely want to keep. This is the Monster Hunters. I actually ended up getting me a second number one of that. Number 2. Number 4. Need to get number 3 in there eventually. I'm going to jump up because I ended up getting number 10. 12. So, again, those, I have even more of those somewhere, so I'm hoping to, I'd like to keep them. Midnight Tales, like I said, I can drop down some of those. Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves, they'll probably end up staying, but the high end of the mystery and space will probably be phased out. Now, I'm one away, or I completed this recently. I think it may be only one away, but I'm going to think this is the end of this box, because that series lasted a pretty good amount, so we'll see. There's some stuff at the end, but we'll... And again, I'll look for duplicates in this, so if there is anything that I didn't already purge out, I'll get rid of. And again, this is a series that, like I said, it started during the Bronze Age and ran out to the end, so that's the reason why I say when I look at this, and you know, I really enjoy a Kurt Swan Superman, and I mean that is when they've got a wholesome component to it, it really is enjoyable. And these Superboys had that wholesomeness that you would look for. That's got 8 extra exciting pages. Looks like Superman's attacking Mr. Tawny. That one down there looks like he's almost ready to stand up. Lex Luthor and Zatara the Magician, which is, that would be Zatanna's father. Superboy meets Clark Kent. Figure that one out. Superboy trains Clark Kent. There's a little crypto backstory on that part of it. Yeah, stop the press. This could be an early appearance of Crypto, since he's going to be in a movie. Look, there's Super Baby up there. It's a backup Super Baby story. Now, I thought that's cool because look, he's got the logo carved out. And there he is, still on the red sun by the next episode. Really cool effect of that, to do the blue that way and kind of show it through. There's an extra Crypto story in that one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Again, Superboy's Secret Diary. And we have Super Baby and the Flying Saucer. I remember reading that one just a little while back. Gotta love that one. They're shooting at him, but look, plus the Boy of Steel's strangest encounter. Superboy meets Superboy. Almost. What does that really mean? Inquiring minds want to know. And then Superboy meets President Kennedy. And we get a little bit of Dial H for Hero in 28. And again, Dial H for Hero. And again in 30. So They run a good little amount, but look, it is in a lot of the backup stories with the Dial H for Hero. Now, if you look, we have shifted into the 60-cent time period. We've been in there for a little bit ever since 22. And if those of you old as I am, you remember when they went from 50 to 60 cent, it was already a punch in the gut. But if you really remember, there was no subtlety to it. It wasn't a 30 to 35 cent, 40. It's sort of like the 40 to 50 when they jumped into 50 to 60, and then they went from 60 to 75. So I know those sound like nothing compared to prices of comics now, but that's y'all's fault for paying the prices. But Dial H for Hero. Then there's a little genie girl in the Dial H for Hero. We're up to 34 now. So they did a pretty good run, because see, that's the second part of that. There she is, and there's the Dial H for Heroes. So I think they were trying to really push those pretty good at that time, because you can see them in every back part of that issue is all Dial H for Hero every time. You got pretty much a year, more than that, of Dial H for Hero backup stories. So it's a pretty good amount of stories in the back. This is the first one that doesn't have it presented on the cover ever since a while back. So same thing with that one. So we kind of moved off into this period of time where we've got away from some of those. Now it looks like it makes an appearance again with our Superboy, with our extra. Look at that beautiful one. Big giant Poseidon, or Neptune, getting ready to try to spear him. We got, I think it's first appearance of him, but also it's got an ad in there, a sweepstakes thing for Superman 3. And of course, he makes another appearance here. Bonus thriller, Dial H for Heroes in this. Same thing with this one. So see, that went on 3 issues with him, fighting with him and doing everything, the Sunburst. A little bit of Lex Luthor, when he's also a teenager. So again, this is where they cross their histories together before they reinvented the wheel after the crisis. 31 there, 49. This is one of my favorites. Is where they actually had the Legion of Superheroes making an appearance with them. I thought that one was just it's dial V for villains. So this is where we kind of show some of those. $52 with Crypto. 53. Now you notice we're in the 75-cent error. 54. Now this one is, I'm trying to remember which one it is, but this is one of the few Whitman ones I have. It is in the earlier part. You see, it's a 4D center, so it's on up there. My Ken is actually giving Superboy a fresh one right there, and blaming him for the death of Clark Kent. So, but that was all the Superboy ones. And then probably a few things I can get rid of is Nightmare Theater. I'll probably go ahead and get rid of that one. And that was 3 of 4. This is 1 of 4, so I'll probably go ahead and get rid of those. That'll, like I said, this box will probably maybe 15 or 20 books will go out of this altogether. And I picked up this one a while back. It's one of the more original ones. And then Adele one, Neutro, the most astonishing superhero of all. And so is this one, Nuclear. And as you see, I do have multiples of this one. So again, I may thin that down. That one's not in perfect shape anyway, so I'll just get rid of it. And then the last of this is, and I think I just did get, I really believe I got one of that. But this is the Not Brandak. These are pretty funny anyway, so they're like a Mad magazine for number 3. But an X-Men appearance in there. Number 4, that one's an absolutely just crush shape. I've been meaning to eventually pull it out and do something with it, but number 7. Number 8. And I really don't see these that much, so when I did see quite a number of them, I did start grabbing them, even in lower grades. Number 9. And our last, but not least, is number 12. So again, as you see, based out of what you've seen, some of the things I am looking to get rid of, but also at the same time, you kind of got the idea, you know, as I said, that I will be going back through this stuff, because again, I'm really looking to streamline everything so much to where it will be only taking one portion of my wall on that side, and my cards can be on the other, and maybe even another thing for toys. And I just don't want to have my comics overcome everything and take over every part of this room. So, because I'm about many things of the pop culture of things, of from the toys to the cards to the actual paperback books to everything, so I don't want to overcome everything so much, magazines, you know, stuff like that. So we'll see. And like I said, I appreciate everybody watching, the Purge and everything that's been going on, my shorts, and all the new subscribers, and I thank y'all, and I will talk to y'all later.